Major funding for this program was provided by Friends of Iowa Public Television.
Good evening and welcome to The Comedy Shop. My name's Ben Ulin. I'll be the host for tonight's show. You know, these comedy clubs are springing up in cities all across the nation. We're at the Old Market Spaghetti Works restaurant in downtown Des Moines, Iowa, where they've been operating a successful club since 1984, attracting comics from all over the nation. It's not Vegas. There's no huge theater. Your name's not up in lights. As a matter of fact, it's written in chalk alongside the mostaccioli and meatballs. But this club does have a certain distinction. It's got a very hot room. It's going to be a good show tonight, so let's do comedy.
It's The Comedy Shop. Tonight, it's the impressions of Brent Aitchison.
Oh, hello, Archie.
Gee, Sarah, would you give me a beer, dear?
Oh, get it yourself, Archie.
And the humor of Joel Madison.
And all of a sudden, from nowhere, a nude woman parachutist landed in my truck. And wanted me.
Your host for The Comedy Shop is Ben Ulin.
What a great crowd tonight. This is great. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to The Comedy Shop here at the Old Market Spaghetti Works restaurant. My name's Ben Ulin. I'll be the host for tonight's show. I'd like to start off, do kind of a magic trick for you, just to kind of get you warmed up. Excuse me, can I work with you for a moment? Have you and I ever met before? Not in this lifetime. That's nice. You from California or something? You're like kind of into that? That's... Can I ask your name, sir?
Love this. Marty.
Marty. Good to meet you, Marty. Marty, I want you to concentrate on the name of a card. You have 52 choices there. Do you have a card in your mind? Marty, I have a prediction card here, a jumbo prediction card. And will you, for the first time, name out loud the card that you just randomly selected? The Ace of Spades. Are you sure? Ladies and gentlemen, my prediction is a joker. Those are wild. I'll call it the Ace of Spades. Oh, I don't know. And now a man that comes to us from Ames, Iowa. Actually, yeah. Got his start right here on this very stage, winning an amateur comic contest. And just 3 short years later, he's now considered one of the best impressionists in the Midwest. Just coming off of a tour of some of our southern states, please welcome a man of 1,000 voices, Mr. Brent Aitchison. Too much applause. It'll all go to my head, all right? Well, you guys look good tonight. I wanna start off real quickly. I got some great news for you. You know, I talk a lot about show business, if you've seen me before. And I read in the Inquirer this morning, just bought a fresh copy, that they are now filming Rocky V. Now, not 4. 4 was with the Russians. Rocky V. Now, you're looking at me like, this can't be true. So tonight, real quickly, I'm going to show you, believe it or not, a scene from Rocky V.
Eeny, weeny, chili beanie. The spirits are about to speak.
Jag måste från det svenska året, absolut. Ja, jag get the booster bill, absolut.
Rocky and Bullwinkle, get back together again. I just thought you might like to know that, all right? Good. You know, I've done impressions for a long time. In fact, people ask you, well, do you get to do them in everyday life? In fact, what I did, because I'm still really a kid at heart, last Halloween, all right, I dressed up as my favorite character from a great show that I love, Late Night with David Letterman. One of my favorite characters from this show, Trick or Treating.
I just like some toast on a stick. Oh, ha, ha.
So you guys applaud, but like I'm still eating dry toast. I really am. I got so much of that. I wanted to ask you just by show of applause, if I could, how many people your favorite Christmas show was Rudolph, or still is, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? By show of applause. All right. Because it was my show, my favorite show too, and I'd like to do a scene, kind of a classic scene tonight. Let's go to the island of misfit toys, all right?
We're from the island of misfit toys. And every year Santa just flies by and leaves us here to rot. Well, yo, Santa, we're not gonna take it anymore.
Things change. You can't tell me just once you didn't want Charlie the Jack-in-the-Box to say that to Santa. You can't tell me just once on the Ed Sullivan Show, after a really bad act, you didn't want to see Ed come out and do this.
You know, that last act really bit the big one.
One time? Oh boy, just once, a lot of things. Just once, a great show from the 1970s that I really, really did like, Beretta. Great show. Just once on Beretta, I'd like to see Beretta interact with another one of my favorite characters from the 1980s. Maybe it'd go a bit like this. I love you, man. Man, I love you. I love you, man. Man, I love you, man. I love you more than Fred the Birdman, because you don't poop on me, man. That's why I love you.
What you talking about, Beretta? Fool! Our pity the boy talks about love all the time. Everybody says, Mr. T, why you so mean to walk around with a long look on your face? What makes you so bad? I wear my jockey shorts 12 sizes too small. That's what makes me so bad.
Just once, didn't you want to see that happen? Just one time. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Johnny Cash for New Relief. A hemorrhoidal treatment. Well, it burns, burns, burns like a ring of fire. Like a ring of fire, you better believe it. See, I did that, kind of a test. I know, but because I want to see how you feel about advertising, because as far as advertising goes, I'm very, very, very interested in it. In fact, how many people like the Pepsi-Cola ads that are out? They had, what, do you? I enjoy them, I like it. I like the endorsements, like what Michael Jackson, about 2 years ago, you know, when his hair caught on fire, which I would have liked to have seen on the commercial. Then Lionel Richie, they have Glenn Fry out now, and a lot of people. In fact, I think Pepsi is smart, and they're really hip. I think they're going to bring some of the biggest stars in show business out this year in 1986 for Pepsi-Cola. In fact, I want to give you kind of a quick preview, according to me, of the 1986 lineup of Pepsi-Cola stars. Who do we got? Let's bring them out. Oh, my goodness. You know her, you love her. Well, maybe you don't love her, but you probably know her.
Hello, I'm Kevin Channing. I'm so happy to be here. I really am. Oh, it's so wonderful. I wrote this song for Pepsi, and I really enjoy listening to it as much as I enjoy getting paid singing it for you. Me. Well, hello, Pepsi. Well, hello. Thank you so much, Pepsi.
And if you like folk music, well, they got this guy, really hot.
How much money must Pepsi pay me before I
if you like, we're talking about Pepsi Cola, and this is really exciting because ladies, this is like a real sexy guy, and everybody, particularly women, like this man. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Neil Diamond for Pepsi Cola. Pepsi on the rocks. Well, ain't no big surprise. You get the glass and, well, I'll get the ice. Well, maybe I'll get the ice. I don't know. Neil, all right. To all the Pepsis I've drank before, that traveled in and out my refrigerator door. Well, I'm glad Pepsi came along, asked me to sing this song. To all the Pepsis I've drank before. Yes, Mr. Willie Nelson.
You know, I dig you people. You are cool cats. I love you. I do. Peace, babes. Oh, who can take a soft drink? Ink, ink, ink. Add in lots of goo, I dig that note, I do. Put money into advertising until dig this. They are number 2. Can you believe that? Pepsi can. Oh, ho, Pepsi Cola can. Oh, ho, Pepsi Cola can. Because believe this, they paid me lots of money to say it's good, man. And you can take that one to the bank. Peace, love, and togetherness. I dig you people. You are groovy.
Yes! Mr. Sammy Davis Jr. You guys have been a lot of fun. I'm Brent Aitchison. Thanks.
I wanted to start off here with a real quick magic trick. Anyone into that tonight? Some people in the back. That's nice. This works with 3 different lengths of rope. This is the long one. We need all these examined and everything. Would you like to examine the long one for me? She seems enthused by that. I don't know. That's nice. This is the medium length. Can I get you involved, or are you already involved? Well, it doesn't matter then. Good, good. Take a good look at that. Hey, don't take it personal. Don't mean anything by it. I don't really. What's your name? Tony. Thanks for helping out, Tony. You find this to be normal rope? Great. Thanks for helping out. Is this one okay? She's smoking it. Yeah, pretty good rope. Too short for you, Tony? Too short for you, Tony? No, okay, good, good. It's nice to have a international audience here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to perform for you a rope ballet. Kind of a progressive thing with these 3 different lengths of rope. Let me introduce you to the cast of characters, to the ballet I'm about to perform for you. They include Papa Worm, Mama Worm, and Tony. 3 worms get together, decide to go visit their grandmother. They start wiggling along the ground. They reach a very wide river. Papa Worm, he's long enough. He can cross the river, no problem. Mama Worm with a little hop, she can make it. Tony's too short. They got to figure out a way to get Tony across the river. I'll tell you what they did. They put all their heads together. They started wiggling along the ground. And they came to the local magician's house. They asked that magician to cast a spell, help them magically ford this river. Well, the magician agrees to do this for a price. He waves his hand, snaps his finger, and he changes the size of all 3 of these worms. Now, with this altered condition, they can cross the river, no problem, and easily make it to grandmother's house. But as soon as they cross the river, they run off. They don't repay the wizard. He gets miffed. Well, the wave of his hand changes them all back again in the climactic finale to this incredible rope ballet. Let me perform it for you now, ladies and gentlemen, the mystery of the three worms. Here's where they're crossing the river. Thank you. They reach the other side, they run off. The magician gets angry. Magician dramatically played by myself. Thank you very much. And there you have it once again, ladies and gentlemen. Papa Worm, Mama Worm, and Tony. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, now I'd like to introduce you to a gentleman that comes to us from Los Angeles, California. He's actually was hosted the No Questions Asked program, a comedy program up in Minneapolis. He's also been seen on Entertainment Tonight, as well as on the first season run of Ed McMahon's Star Search. He's open for such names as Ray Charles, Roy Orbison, and the Four Tops. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, Mr. Joel Madison.
Thank you very much. Always nice to be back here in Des Moines. Fun place. Yeah. It's kind of fun to travel. This is the first year I've traveled as a grown-up. It's kind of exciting. The last time I ever did any, as a grown-up, yeah. The last time I ever saw this country was when I was a very young kid, 10, 11, 12 years old. We used to take these family vacations, right? And we used to take 2 of them a year, okay? Once to visit my grandmother in Florida, and once to have fun. All right? Now, I don't want to say nothing bad about my grandmother, okay? Because she gave me money when I saw her. But, you know, and this is kind of gross. This is kind of, I always thought my grandmother must have played the cello. Yeah, by the way she used to sit. And I know it's not a thing to talk about, but come on. You've been at a family reunion, your eyes drop, and it's like, oh, God, Grandma, you know. Oh, jeez. Put a cello in there, something, you know, just... Oh. But again, it's not a good thing to talk about. So we never had any fun on our fun vacations because we had way too many rules and regulations, all right? First of all, first major rule was we would always have to leave at 4 in the morning, okay? So we do this. Never could figure this out. Never. Always felt like I was escaping from East Berlin on these trips. Right? Parents rush in the middle of the night. Get up, we're going on vacation! Finally, I asked my dad, you know, because he knows everything. Why do we have to leave at 4 in the morning? He's great. He said, this is to avoid rush hour traffic. Right? 4 hours later, you're in another town in their rush hour traffic, right? Bingo. My mom had some great rules because she knows everything about sanitation, okay? Right? Did you have these rules? You can never walk barefoot on a hotel carpet because you'd die, right? You cannot eat unwashed fruit from a stand, okay? Those are some of the rules. And for God's sake, whenever we'd stop to, like, use the restroom, okay, this would give her the opportunity to give me the official mother-to-son truck stop restroom warning, okay? Did you get this? I'd get out of the car, head to the restroom. She'd call after me, right? Now, when you get in there, Joel, put a little paper down. Like, that's gonna help in a truck stop restroom? No, I think not. Need a piece of granite about this thick, right? Put it right on there. Or, of course, what she'd tell my sister to do was hover. So that would be... Did you hover? You hovered then, I take it. Yeah, have you, let me ask you, have you ever tried to hover over a handicap seat? Because, yeah, Those babies are 5 feet tall, you know. Yeah, you got to play Jim Cotta on the bar while you're there. It's virtually impossible. I have one older sister, so we had the one sister, one brother rule for traveling, okay? Which stated my sister could hit me, I could not hit her back. What kind of rule is this? This is a horrible rule, because she knew right where to hit. You know, she'd get her knuckle flared out like this. Boom, right in the vaccination mark, your arm goes dead for an hour and a half, okay? So I couldn't hit her back. I'd have to get her back in any way I could. Now, I have to admit, I'm the younger brother. I would start the trouble, okay? So we'd be traveling along. We'd have the invisible line in the seat at all times, okay? Two ways to get my sister to cross that line. I'd either call her a booger, right? Or I'd wipe one on her. Boom, right in the arm. My arm would go dead. With my good arm, I'd bring out my secret weapon, my G.I. Joe. Never go anywhere without this guy. Yeah. Get him out of my bag. First thing I do, find Barbie. Well, he's in the service. He's got a 3-day pass. Come on. Sure, I knew this. Now, occasionally, she would bring Ken along as protection. G.I. Joe could beat him up, though, huh? That wimp. I hated Ken. You know, I used to pop his head off, throw it out the window. Ken was a wimp. I hated Ken. The reason I hated Ken, I think, is because you got to figure, basically, Ken and G.I. Joe are the same doll. I mean, really, neither one of them had anything, you know. But at least G.I. Joe lost his in a war, so. Gotta give him that. But she just got it. Okay. See, we can't get too graphic on the TV. But we had one last rule for traveling. I don't know if you know this or not, but in certain states, it's legal to sell things in the men's restrooms. Did we know this? Again, we can't explain. No, and I'm not talking about combs, okay? Let me just talk about this. It is legal to sell birth control prophylactics in the men's restrooms. Okay, now, no big deal. How about here in Iowa? Yeah. You all know this, okay. Well, whenever we travel through a state where my mom knew they were selling these, okay, now I don't know how the heck she knew, because, yeah, they don't print this on AAA, you know, I get those meds. She would give me the other warning, okay? You know, I would get out of the car, head to the restroom, she'd call after me again. Now, when you get in there, Joel, don't buy anything! It only takes that one time. I remember I was about 10, 11 years old, you know, and I had a quarter, so I bought one, right? I was happy, I was proud. I didn't know what it was, you know. First thing you want to do, show mom. I come charging out of there. Look, Ma, look what I got in there for a quarter. Well, I remember what she did. Get rid of that thing! Dad handled it much better, of course. He went like this. Hey, give me that. All right, right here. And they don't, you know, I should tell you this, they don't have the regular kind that you buy, you know, at a drugstore, those 3 for $1. They have those real strange ones. You know what I'm talking about. These are the weirdest things in the world. I'm telling you, they have these things all over them. It looks like a little Michelin man. Do you know what I mean? They have things coming out all over them. Again, I don't want to be graphic here, but how are you supposed to wear these things, guys? Come on. I would turn them inside out because I'm selfish. But, my quarter, you know, so. But, you know, the only good thing about these family vacations was at least I wasn't in school. Yeah, at least I had like 3 months, right, of summer vacation. It was so great. I did not have to go to school because I hated school, didn't like going, did everything I could to get out of school, too, when I was supposed to go. Did you ever do this? Call up during the day? Say stuff like, Joel Madison won't be in today. He's very sick. Probably won't be in all month, right? One morning, the secretary said, who's this? I said, this is my dad. So I was a horrible student. How many people are still in school? College? A few of you? Okay. How many of you that are still in school are like me? Actually very brilliant, but cannot take tests well. Is this anybody? Tests, now do you still have to take the test? You fill it in with a number 2 pencil? They still have it? I hated those, really? It's the same stupid test. You remember these tests? It was A, B, C, D, E. I would get 3 questions down. Then I start thinking, right? Let's see. I got 2 A's and a B. Must be time for that C. All right. All right, just make a pattern, you know? Look, Jeff, look, it looks just like a duck. Look at this thing here, you know? I was a horrible student. I'd get bad grades, too. The first bad grade, really bad grade I got had to be when I was in 9th grade. I got an F in 9th grade math. You know, F, that's pretty bad. Yeah, that's flunko time, you know? And I handed that report card to my parents, and there's no way you can hide an F because it glares out on your paper. It's like F, 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 F. Especially because it looks so much different than all the D's around it. You know, it was a whole different deal. And I felt horrible. I felt terrible. So I went up my room and started sulking. About a half hour later, my mom came up, tried to cheer me up. She said, don't feel so bad. Einstein flunked high school math. Great. Felt great for years. Which is true. Did you know he did flunk high school math? This is the truth. But what she never told me was he was only 4 years old at the time. You know. Thanks a lot. I guess he was carrying 21 credits. And, yeah, and he had a night job. So, you know. I did not like teachers when I was growing up. I hated all my teachers. First teacher I really hated had to be my first gym teacher. Never forget this guy. Big Neanderthal forehead on him. Yeah. About 3 rungs down the evolutionary scale than the rest of us. Right? I'll never forget him. He was a monster, right? Now, you have to picture this. First day of official gym class. We're all skinny, scrawny, emaciated little kids, right? You know, I'm bigger now because I lift weights. But, thank you. He comes in the door, right? He's a prison guard or something. Gentlemen, welcome to your first day of real physical education. In this class, we will not play little girls' games, although for some of you that might be quite apropos. In this class, we will not play little children's games. There will be no bounce-a-ball. There will be no marbles, tiddlywinks, or other non-productive activities such as clutch butt, grab ass, and towel snapping. We will play real contact sports, gentlemen, and that's why you must wear your jockstrap. It's for your protection. What did I know? I was 13. I put it on. I turned to my best friend. I said, hey, go ahead, kick me. Thank you very much. I'm Joel Madison. Yeah.
Well, that's our show for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed it. This is Ben Ulin saying good night from the Comedy Shop.
Major funding for this program was provided by Friends of Iowa Public Television.
Next up, ladies and gentlemen, a man who got his start, believe it or not, right here on this stage nearly 2 years ago, winning an amateur comic contest. But he's not amateur anymore. As a matter of fact, he's considered one of the Midwest's finest impressionists. He's just returning from a tour of some of our southern states, a man of 1,000 voices. Please put your hands together, Mr. Brent Aitchison. Just got a quick consumer tip for you. Real quickly, Dolph Pulliam is outside with a wishing well. So you got to watch it. Yes, this is true, because he's going to get you when you go for potty.
Hi, what's your name? Where are you from? How much?
So keep your change. Just a real quick thing.
He's coming. Yes. Jason returns in Friday the 13th, part 89. And this time he takes the form of Edith Bunker.
Oh, hello, Archie.
Gee, Jerry, would you give me a beer, dear?
Oh, get it yourself, Archie.
With special cameo appearances by Katharine Hepburn as the concerned neighbor.
Edith, I'm concerned about you and Archie, that old pooh.
With special cameo appearances by Dudley Moore as the intoxicated postman.
Edith, I feel great. I feel fabulous. Fabulous. Could I have a drinky winky poo?
Friday the 13th, part 89. Don't you dare miss it.
Now, see, I'm kind of anxious for the drive-in season to start, aren't you? Kind of gets me fired up for it. Oh, boy, I'm up here having a good time tonight, and because I do impressions, people ask you quite often, when you do impressions, do you get opportunities to do them in everyday life? Now, this is an interesting thing, because do you watch Late Night with David Letterman? Did you enjoy the show? You like it? Because one of my favorite characters from that show, in fact, because I'm still a kid at heart, I dressed up last Halloween as this guy. Just went out to some houses, and because you dress up and sound like him, sometimes you get more treats. In fact, I went up to houses kind of like this.
I just like some toast on a stick. Oh, oh, oh.
So you guys applaud, and I had toast on a stick till like February. You know what? It's really funny because you can use impressions to help you out. Because when I went to college, I lived right next door to a convenience store, right? Now, convenience stores are they're open 24 hours a day, and particularly at night, you got to get on an intercom system, right, to order gasoline. So, like when you live next door to one, you can't afford air conditioning. You got your window up. What do you hear at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Bump 4 is on. Go ahead.
Right? So as an impressionist, I had the correct voice to remedy the problem. I waited till like the guy who ran the Quick Trip, that was there, that was the name of the place, I hate to drop names, but who's in the back of the store, and I waited till nobody else was around. And I went up there and I got on the intercom system out by the gasoline pumps and did this. Hey, babe, just heard the Wolfman. I want you to get off your rear end and give me 50,000 gallons of unleaded baby. If I'm lying, I'm dying. Now, see, I thought I was pretty cool until the guy turns around very, very calmly, walks up to his end of the intercom, and does this. Oh, whoa, dude. I know you. Oh, you're that Casey Kasem dude, aren't you? So it doesn't pay sometimes. As a child, because I've been doing voices for a long, long time, as a child, I had a very favorite toy, my Jack in the Box. Now, Jack in the Box, my very favorite toy, used to speak to me like this. Well, I gotta tell you, man, Jack doesn't wanna go back into the box, okay, Chief?
Now get your butt over there and turn on the Lakers game, okay?
Now, see, we got along quite well. We really did. We had a good time. Jack shares an apartment with me now. In fact, he has the master bedroom, and I sleep in the closet. But that's another thing. I'm up here having a good time, and it's kind of warm up here with all the lights and stuff. Would you mind if I took off my jacket? Would it bother you guys at all? In fact, well, we can only go so far. This is television. But would you mind terribly if I put on my sweater? It'd make me feel just a little bit more comfortable. Hi, neighbors. Welcome to the neighborhood. Are you happy to be here? Look over there. That table's in the world of make-believe. Okay. I bet you know Ferdinand Marcos, don't you? Let's go on a walk through the neighborhood and see how all of our neighbors are doing. How are you doing, neighbor? Are you doing okay? It's a very special scarf you got. Can you see that? Isn't that special? We could lay down and play Twister on it later, couldn't we? Be sort of special. Are you Mr. McFeely? Well, 'cause I saw you McFeeling her earlier, so I thought maybe. It's very special. Just make sure you don't McFeel him, okay? That's good. Hi, neighbor. Back there, you know, you have some dog poop on your shoe? Can you say dog poop? I know you've got another word for it, neighbor, but this is television. We can't say that, okay? Would you like to sing the neighborhood song? I bet you would. Okay. Okay. It's a wonderful day in our neighborhood, a wonderful day in our neighborhood. Would you be my neighbor? She's going, maybe if I don't look directly at him, he'll leave me alone. It's a beautiful day in our big wood, a beautiful day for a big T. Would you be my neighbor? You'd be my neighbor, wouldn't you? That's good. Are you in show business? Then get your foot off my stage, okay? Oh, that's special. I like you, neighbor. I do. I've always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. She's saying I have a gun in my purse. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you, Mr. McFeely. I saw you McFeel your neighbor behind you. I did. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine? You're still saying no way, right, aren't you? Okay. Would you be mine? You're thinking about it, aren't you? Won't you be my neighbor, Mr. McFeely? Well, bye, neighbors. We'll see you later. We'll see you in the world of make-believe. You guys want to know what bothers me the most about that? I like putting on the sweater. I like singing the song. I go over to people's houses I don't even know and I feed their fish. And and Mr. McFeely really is McFeeling everybody around him. So watch out there, okay? And I want to talk about a couple things real quickly. When you do impressions and stuff, people think that you know it's all fun and comedy, and then when you go out on the road after you maybe get done with college or something, you pay your dues. Well, I started paying dues really early because when I was a little kid, I was doing voices when I was maybe like 3 years old. My dad more than once said to me, "Young man, don't you use that tone of voice with me or your mother ever again." Well, then I'll use this tone of voice, Dad. And he used to spank me, and by golly, I liked it. I really did. And Mr. McFeely, that still bothers me to this day. It really does. So. All right, I want to talk about another thing. Because we get to travel a little bit, I was up in Detroit, not too far, about two or 3 weeks ago. Good city up there. A buddy of mine works for General Motors, works in the testing department for Chevrolet. So he tests brand new Chevrolet. So I'm up there and looking at the test lot, and we're looking at all these cars. He hands me these keys, and he says, "Let's go to that car over there. Why don't you just take it out for a spin?" So I'm going, "Oh, this will be kind of fun." So I put the keys into the door to open it up, and immediately it was one of these cars that speaks to you. Have you ever been in one of these cars before? I opened up, and it was really interesting because like I'm opening up the door, and the car goes, "Close the door." Excuse me? Close the door. So like I get inside, close the door. Was that okay? It's all right. So I sit down, and I'm sitting down into the seats, and I'm getting real comfortable. "Hey, big boy, strap yourself in for the ride of your life." So I'm going to kind of like this. I pull out the keys, get ready to put it into the ignition, and as I'm just getting ready to turn the ignition, "Be very, very careful, you crazy wasco." The car's concerned about my well-being, so I thought that was pretty good. So what I'm doing is I'm checking around everything like that. You got to check the defrost, so I press the defrost because it was rather cold up in Detroit, so I press the defrost. Defrost, defrost, boss, defrost. Shut up, tattoo. So
So I checked that out, and the windshield was dirty, so I pressed the windshield wiper, and the fluid goes up, and this windshield wiper is going back and forth. My fellow American, let me make your windshield perfectly clear. So I knew the political persuasion of the car. But I got to check out a lot of things, so I'm checking out all the rearview mirrors, and for some reason I looked at myself in the rearview mirror, and as I'm looking at myself,
hello, darling, is that you? You look marvelous, darling.
so what do you check next? I like the space in a car, and I like to check things out, so I check the glove compartment. As I open up the glove compartment, yes! Can I help you? No, thank you. Just looking, just looking. But then I realized it was time to go because the car told me, all right, ready for liftoff, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're set to go. We're pulling out, and as I'm driving down the street, this guy runs a red light. He almost clips my car, and immediately, it's impulsive response. I hit the horn.
A wise guy, eh? Why,
I like an aggressive car. I do. But this car was almost too aggressive because we come to the next light. There's an elderly gentleman and his wife that are walking across the street. And as my car is there and I'm waiting and the light turns green, I'm waiting for these people to walk across. My car, by itself, mind you, starts to rev up its engine. This old man's sitting there looking at my car, and my car, what does it say?
Go ahead, make my day.
So like I'm trying to get out of town. I go to the next light. I'm getting close to the interstate. And go to the next light. Real pretty girl in a Corvette comes up, top down. She smiles at me. So I'm gonna maybe follow her for a little bit. Be kind of nice. It's a real pretty girl. So the light turns green. She takes off. My car stalls out. Now I'm getting a little angry here. And I'm going, hey, what's the problem?
Never had it, never will. Ha ha ha.
Now, I can take a joke, okay? I can take a joke. So I go to the next light, and all of a sudden, the car, there's a little red light that comes on that says that your car is overheating. So then I'm asking the car, I'm talking to it by this point, so, well, how hot is it?
It is so hot. Are you ready for this? It is so hot that Mr. Goodwrench would have to wear an asbestos suit to work on this car.
I didn't think it was that funny either. Actually. The car didn't have a good sense of humor. So we're going to the interstate. We're getting ready to get on the interstate, and we're pulling off, and we're onto the freeway. And my car's going like 40 miles an hour, and I can't get it to go any faster. And we're going 40, and I'm trying to press it, and then I'm talking to the car, as I told you before. So I'm saying, well, what's the problem? We can't get any more speed here. You go, I said, just won't take it, son. I can't get no more power. Said blow, said blow. So I'm going, okay, I can handle this. So I'm going 40 miles an hour, and I'm sitting back. The next thing you got to check is the radio. So I press on the radio, listening to a classical station, sitting back there, relaxing. And all of a sudden, my car decides to tell me that it does not like my choice of music.
Hey, man, what are you doing, man? Hey, I want to hear some rock and roll, man.
So I turn on the local rock station, and the car sings with the radio. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. So we're cruising along, and all of a sudden, in all the haste and everything, and I'm sitting back and I'm enjoying myself, the car is beginning to speed up. And I look down at my speedometer, I'm going 107 miles an hour. I was like the Indy 500. Woo! I'm weaving in and out of cars, and the car's getting into this. How fast can we go? How fast can we go? How fast can we go? And
we're faster than the average automobile.
I don't think Mr. Aitchison is going to like this.
But I'm sitting back and I'm having a good time. When my car decides to tell me something is wrong, it's made a keen observation.
I thought I saw a policeman. I did see policeman.
All right. Cop pulls me over. I've been going 107 miles an hour. I think talking him into warning might have been just a little, out of the question. So he pulls up to the, and I'm very calm. I say to my car very simply, okay, you got me into this, you get me out of it. Cop walks up to the car, electric windows roll down. My car is very quiet, and all of a sudden it begins to shake.
Hey, officer, I tell you, I get no respect. No respect at all. I tell you, it wasn't my fault. I wasn't going that fast. The road was going slow. Would you believe the car behind me pushed me? The semi in front of me sucks.
17 tickets later, I take the car back to the lot, and I walk up to my friend, and I'm a little angry, but I'm kind of bewildered. And I said, what are you going to call this car anyway? Oh, this is the new 1980, didn't I tell you, the 87 Chevrolet Celebrity? And I'm going, well, if I was you, I'd call it the 1987 Chevrolet Sybil, if you ask me. So it's one of those things. Anyway, so it was a fun thing. I want to talk real quickly about advertising. Pepsi-Cola, in fact, as far as advertising goes, because they got some great ads, don't they? They had Michael Jackson 2 years ago, which I would have liked to have seen his hair catch on fire But then they had some of the, but we got some, you know, Pepsi is really an interesting thing. And I talked to a friend of mine who works for the advertising agency that does the ads for Pepsi. And he told me that they have come up with a new lineup of stars for Pepsi, like a cross-section of some of the biggest stars for Pepsi-Cola this year. In fact, they got like a whole bunch of stars. In fact, folk singer, this guy is really big for Pepsi-Cola in 1987. Get ready, the 1986 lineup of Pepsi-Cola stars. Who do we got?
How much money must Pepsi pay me before I will sell out?
And for those of you ladies who are who like romantic voices, ladies and gentlemen, Neil Diamond for Pepsi-Cola.
Pepsi on the rocks. There ain't no big surprise. You get the glass and, well, I'll get the ice.
So maybe Mr. McFeely will get the ice. I don't know. What else we got? We got some other great stars for Pepsi-Cola. Yes, this guy is Mr. Show Business. Everybody knows him. They love him. He is so cool. He is so hip.
You know, I dig you people. I do dig you. I love you. Let me lay this on you. And who can take a soft drink? Ink, ink, ink. Adding lots of goo, I dig that. I really do. Put money into advertising until this. They are number 2. Pepsi can. Oh, how Pepsi-Cola can. Pepsi-Cola can because, dig this, they paid me lots of money to say that they are the best. And I dig them and I dig you. Peace, love, and togetherness. People.
Sammy Davis Jr., yes? In show business, we save the best for last. Yes, a folk hero, if you like country music. While the Pepsis I've drank before, but traveled in and out my refrigerator door. Well, I'm glad Pepsi came along, asked me to sing this song. While the Pepsis I've drank before. Yes, the 1986 lineup. Pepsi-Cola stars. Thanks a lot, I'm Brent Aitchison. Please enjoy the rest of the show.
Actually, yeah. Got his start right here on this very stage, winning an amateur comic contest. And just 3 short years later, he's now considered one of the best impressionists in the Midwest. Just coming off of a tour of some of our southern states, please welcome a man of 1,000 voices, Mr. Brent Aitchison.
Now, not too much applause. It'll all go to my head, all right? Well, you guys look good tonight. I wanna start off real quickly. I got some great news for you. You know, I talk a lot about show business, if you've seen me before. And I read in the Inquirer this morning, just bought a fresh copy, that they are now filming Rocky 5. Now, not 4. 4 was with the Russians. Rocky 5. Now, you're looking at me like, this can't be true. So tonight, real quickly, I'm going to show you, believe it or not, a scene from Rocky 5.
Eeny, weeny, chili beanie, the spirits are about to speak.
Jag måste från det svenska året absolut. Jag get the booster bill absolutely.
Rocky and Bullwinkle get back together again. I just thought you might like to know that, all right? Good. You know, I've done impressions for a long time. In fact, you know, people ask you, do you get to do them in everyday life? In fact, what I did, because I'm still really a kid at heart, last Halloween, all right, I dressed up as my favorite character from a great show that I love, Late Night with David Letterman. One of my favorite characters from this show, Trick or Treating.
I just like some toast on a stick. Oh, ha, ha.
So you guys applaud, but like I'm still eating dry toast. I really am. I got so much of that. Boy, some great shows on cable. I just got cable added to my TV set, and you know, you watch cable late at night, and you get to see some really neat things. Like, well, this is a particular situation that happened to me. I saw this show, and this happened. There's no need to fear. Underdog is here. As you recall, in our last episode of Underdog, boys and girls, the lovable Polly purebred have been taken captive by the evil, mean, and not so very nice Simon Bar Sinister. We now join our episode in progress.
I have all the water in the world, and sweet Polly will be my slave. Quiet, Polly. Underdog can't hear you.
When you have a communication problem, call AT&T, the right choice. You know, they sneak those commercials in. You hardly even know that they're part of the shows. That probably hasn't happened to you before. I had to watch late at night to see things like that. Well, it's good to see everybody tonight. I wanted to ask you, just by show of applause, if I could, how many people, your favorite Christmas show was Rudolph, or still is, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? By show of applause. All right. Because it was my show, my favorite show too, and I'd like to do a scene, kind of a classic scene tonight. Let's go to the island of misfit toys, all right?
We're from the island of misfit toys. And every year, Santa just flies by and leaves us here to rot. Well, yo, Santa, we're not gonna take it anymore.
Things change. You can't tell me just once you didn't want Charlie the Jack-in-the-Box to say that to Santa. You can't tell me just once on the Ed Sullivan Show, after a really bad act, you didn't want to see Ed come out and do this.
You know, that last act really bit the big one.
One time? Just once. I love it. Great show. I love this show. Star Trek. What a great program. Just once I wanted to see this particular scene happen.
Damn it, Jim. I'm not a doctor, okay, Jim? Just a lousy actor, all right, Jim? Just a lousy actor.
Just one time, maybe twice. Just once, Walter Cronkite.
On this day in history, absolutely nothing happened worth the tinker's damn of mentioning.
Because there are those days. Oh, boy. A favorite politician of mine. In fact, he was president back in the 1970s. He must have had bad days, too. You know, you can take this job and shove it. I'm not working here no more. So all those days. Oh, boy, just once, a lot of things. Just once, a great show from the 1970s that I really, really did like, Beretta. Great show. Just once on Beretta, I'd like to see Beretta interact with another one of my favorite characters from the 1980s. Maybe it'd go a bit like this. I love you, man. Man, I love you. I love you, man. Man, I love you, man. I love you more than Fred the Birdman, because you don't poop on me, man. That's why I love you.
What you talking about, Beretta? Fool. Our pity the boy talks about love all the time. Everybody says, Mr. T, why you so mean to walk around with a long look on your face? What makes you so bad? I wear my jockey shorts 12 sizes too small. That's what makes me so bad.
Just once, didn't you want to see that happen? Just one time. All right. Oh boy, just one time. We have a special guest with us tonight. I'm kind of glad that Ben let me kind of bring this next person on. In fact, I'm going to play his theme song. I think you'll all know who he is. Ladies and gentlemen, our next special guest. Well, it's good to be here in Des Moines, Ohio tonight. I'm awfully glad that you all invited me. Well, I believe this is a press conference, so I'd like to address some of our members of the press. Yes, I believe you're from Grit magazine over here. Yes, our first question.
Mr. President, have you seen The Color Purple?
Have I seen The Color Purple? Yes, I've seen The Color Purple, The Color Red, The Color Blue. I may be old, but I'm not colorblind. That's a bad question. Yes.
Mr. President,
Yes?
rumor has it that you'll change your hairstyle this year.
Well, you know, Nancy said, Ron, I'd like to see you look a little more like Tom Selleck. And so I went to my hairdresser, Vidal Sassoon, and I said, Vidal, what could you do with this mop up here? And he said, well, I'd like to give you the dry look, Ron. We could maybe make you a little bit like Gene Simmons or something. And I'm not quite sure, but he said, you'll have to buy a blow dryer, and I have a few right here, but the smallest model I have is 5,000 watts. And I said I couldn't even handle 1 watt in my administration, let alone 5,000. Yes, over here.
What are your views on foreign affairs?
My views on foreign affairs, I don't think there's any need to go overseas to have an affair. There's plenty of good men and women right here in America. In fact, I think I see a few going on tonight. Yes, we only have time for a final question right here, yes?
Yes, speaking of international issues.
Yes.
How do you feel about the Israeli position?
Well, I like it, but Nancy says it hurts her knees. Okay. Aerobics, okay, aerobics. Is that what we're talking about? Aerobics, knees, and aerobics. As a kid, and I still am a big fan of detective movies. I love detective movies, and I guess they say you're never happy until you kind of come up with your own story. And so tonight, I'd like to kind of do my very own version of a lot of detective stories I've seen, and maybe it's kind of in the detective genre. Follow me, tell me by applause when I get done if you think this is okay. Maybe it's lousy, I don't know, but we'll give it a try. We'll see. What do you need for a good detective movie? You gotta have a cigarette, gotta have a little bit of smoke. To set the scene. Of all the shop classes in all the towns in all the world, he had to walk into mine, Casablanca Junior High School. My name's Sam Spade. I'm a shop teacher. Now, it was a September morning at 6:16 on a Saturday. I saw a silver Chevrolet sedan skid into the school parking lot. It was 1967 all over again. I saw the door slam shut. I could see it was Stanley Smith. Now, Stanley was a sophomore exchange student from Seattle, where his father was a salmon salesman. That's why Stanley always smelled like the sea. As he strolled into my classroom, I could see his silhouette in the shadows with something slung to his side. I was suspicious, because I had known he'd sold Mrs. Sampson, who was our social studies instructor, a shelf. It was last Saturday, so I summoned him saying, Stanley, is that you? He said, sure. Is that a shelf slung to your side? He said, certainly. So I said, could I survey that shelf? He said, super. As I was looking the shelf over, I could see it was a sloppy shelf. It was slanted. The books would slide off the side. He didn't stain it or shellac it.
Now, I've never met a student yet that didn't understand some sawdust in the face or a jab from a 45-degree ruler. So I said, Stanley, sell it to me straight. I saw that shelf you made for Mrs. Sampson. It was smooth and swell and nice. And this is a sloppy, shoddy, shady shelf here. Now sell it to me straight. What's the scoop? Stanley stood there in shock, sweating. And suddenly, he spoke. Mr. Spade, I didn't know that you would be so brainy. I didn't think that you would realize it was such a bad shelf, Mr. Spade. I'm sorry. Mrs. Sampson was the same. She knew it too, and so she made me go back and sand it, and sand it, and sand it. Well, you sanded it for her. You can sand it for me. I want you to plane it again, Stan.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Johnny Cash for New Relief. A hemorrhoidal treatment. Well, it burns, burns, burns like a ring of fire. Like a ring of fire, you better believe it. See, I did that to kind of a test. I know, but because I want to see how you feel about advertising. Because as far as advertising goes, I'm very, very, very interested in it. In fact, how many people like the Pepsi Cola ads that are out? They had what? Do you? I enjoy them. I like it. I like the endorsements, like what Michael Jackson about 2 years ago. You know, when his hair caught on fire. Which I would have liked to have seen on the commercial. Then Lionel Richie, they have Glenn Fry out now, and a lot of people. In fact, I think Pepsi is smart, and they're really hip. I think they're going to bring some of the biggest stars in show business out this year in 1986 for Pepsi Cola. In fact, I want to give you kind of a quick preview, according to me, of the 1986 lineup of Pepsi Cola stars. Who do we got? Let's bring them out. Oh, my goodness. You know her, you love her. Well, maybe you don't love her, but you probably know her.
Hello, I'm Trevor Channing. I'm so happy to be here. I really am. Oh, it's so wonderful. I wrote this song for Pepsi, and I will enjoy listening to it as much as I enjoy getting paid singing it for you. Me. Well, hello, Pepsi. Well, hello. Thank you so much, Pepsi.
And if you like folk music, well, they got this guy, really hot.
How much money must Pepsi pay me before I will sell out?
I know. You say my bag is smoking, but it's over 18, so that's okay, all right? No, it's kind of a special thing that it does every once in a while when it gets excited. If we're talking about Pepsi Cola, and this is really exciting because ladies, this is like a real sexy guy, and everybody, particularly women, like this man. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Neil Diamond for Pepsi Cola.
Pepsi on the rocks. Well, it ain't no big surprise. You get the glass sand. Well, I'll get the ice.
Well, maybe I'll get the ice. I don't know. Neil, all right.
To all the Pepsis I've drank before, but traveled in and out my refrigerator door. Well, I'm glad Pepsi came along, asked me to sing this song. To all the Pepsis I've drank before. Yes, Mr. Willie Nelson.
You know, I dig you people. You are cool cats. I love you. I do. Peace, babes. Oh, who can take a soft drink? Ink, ink, ink. Add in lots of goo, ew, 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 ew. I dig that note, I do. Put money into advertising until dig this. They are number 2. Can you believe that? Pepsi can. Oh, ho, Pepsi Cola can. Oh, ho, Pepsi Cola can. Because believe this, they paid me lots of money to say it's good, man. And you can take that one to the bank. Peace, love, and togetherness. I dig you people. You are groovy.
Yes! Mr. Sammy Davis Jr. You guys been a lot of fun. I'm Brent Aitchison. Thanks.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the first winner of the Minneapolis Laugh-Off Contest, a man who says that he's not only helped open, but also helped close 2 of the comedy clubs in the Twin Cities area. He's opened for the likes of Jay Leno, Rodney Dangerfield, Maury Amsterdam, and has actually met Jerry Mathers. Master of the one-liners, Mr. Gary Johnson.
Seemed to be impressed by me meeting Jerry Mathers. Is that a name, Beaver Cleaver? Sounds like a weapon. And there was his weird brother they never spoke of, Meat. Should probably apologize to management. I was in the bathroom, I was laying out some cocaine on a mirror and it fell off the wall. So, found out you can't lick the blade. First time I did coke, I didn't know what the big deal was, so I sold my car about another ounce. Always like to give everything a fair test. But we all know we shouldn't drink and drive, and there are some tips that let you know when you shouldn't drink and drive, or when you've had too much to drink. Like, have you ever been alone with a friend you both got so high you can blindfold yourselves, try to guess who each other is? Thought so. Or have you ever had to close one eye so you can focus on your TV? And then you realize you're sitting in front of your oven? Probably the worst thing you can do, this is where they slap the cuffs on you, just take you away, is if the cop pulls you over and comes up to your window and you order food. Big trouble then, they just take you away. So you guys having a good time so far, right? So I kind of like to, kind of get to know the crowd and stuff. Like, what's your name here? Mark? I see. Sounds like a hairless dog. This guy over here is laughing at you right here. He's dressed real nice. Looks like Stevie Wonder picks out all his clothes. Now you hate having to sit in the front row, did you? You're nudging her like, damn it, I didn't want to sit in the front row. What do you do for a living? Sell drugs. I'm talking to you after the show. You have a van or anything that we should know about? Or 5 of them. He's got other people working under him now. No, I was going to say, do you work under him? But no. Turn this place into a car wash while I'll be standing here with a chamois in our hands. How many people are thinking, oh my God, he's an Indian, he's probably drunk and our hubcaps are gone? Norwegian and German, actually. Anybody else Norwegian or German? German? Norwegian German's a weird combination because at Christmas dinner we used to have lefse and sauerkraut. Then in the afternoon, we get drunk, take over a country. Mark, do you have a least favorite holiday? Not really. You like them all pretty much? Or anybody have a least favorite holiday? What was that? Okay, Labor Day, yeah. That's for women, isn't it, or something? All women groan when you mention, hey, it's Labor Day. Oh. As a kid, I always hated Halloween. Because every Halloween, my parents would do the same thing to me. They'd dress me up like a ghost and drop me off at Black Panther meetings. Get the crap knocked out of me, and it was a lot of fun. Anybody married here? Everybody dummies up. Oh, no. You married, Mark? Okay. Are you two married, or are you just dating? Just having all the good time, huh? Okay. You're engaged. Are you? Okay, so it's working. How long have you been engaged? Oh, you get a round of applause here for engagements. Like, all right, they're going to try it. Good luck. Do you have a honeymoon planned at all, or where are you going? Ooh, the Virgin Islands. There's a line in there, but we are on TV, so... Yeah, probably sleeping in the back seat of your car in the Virgin Islands. I used to be married. We had kind of a nice honeymoon. We went over out east for a couple of weeks. Went over to La Crosse. Went through a couple of cheese factories and a brewery, and pretty much called it a marriage. Some marriages are made in heaven. Mine was made in Taiwan somewhere. We were only married 7 months. We had 4 good ones, so it was kind of like winning the World Series. Had movies at our wedding, didn't get them back in time. The ceremony was kind of weird. Her mother, my mother-in-law, sang at our wedding. None of us knew she was going to sing. For no damn reason, she stood up and started singing that Old Black Magic. My parents were cool. They sat in the parking lot and honked the horn. My wife came down the aisle in black boots and a whip, so that was kind of strange. What was I wearing? I wanted to wear a tuxedo with tails, but then it would look like most of her relatives, so... It's kind of bizarre. She was a rotten cook. One time she made a ham dinner, dropped it on the floor, had hairballs all over it. Served it to me anyway, told me they were dumplings. Now that we're divorced, though, immediately after, a couple of weeks after I was divorced, I had friends coming out of the woodwork setting me up with blind dates. Anybody been through that? I always get the classic one, fun to be with. Great sense of humor. Good dancer. Then you meet them, they have the face of a small dog. Little teeth that hang out. Go to a restaurant, their food comes in doggy bags. Go back to their place. Let me slip into something more comfortable. They walk out wearing a flea collar. And, I grew up in a weird neighborhood. How many people had that old couple that lived in your neighborhood? They were the ones that dug those little ditches along the sidewalk so kids would get their bike tires caught in them. Used to sneak out and fill them back up. Tell them they were going senile. No, you never dug those yesterday. There, another kid named Melvin. One time he called me up, asked me how he'd known his baby shampoo would be old enough to use. What do you do for a living that you can go to the Virgin Islands? Oh, careful, the camera's on. Oh, okay, he does sell drugs. I'm sorry. A stockbroker. He sells sheep then. I played in a weird bar in Montana. They didn't have a mechanical bull, they had a mechanical sheep, which was kind of... The sheep won, yes, had the boots and everything. Bizarre thing. Wait a minute, now I work alone, okay? going to be a quiz on this, so pay attention here. What's that jacket there? Are you a mechanic or anything? Or you know, all kinds of, what do you travel a lot and you don't have any luggage, they stick the stickers on your jacket, eh? Did you buy some of that Amelia Earhart luggage where they just lose it? Is this your wife here?
I travel last luggage. It's cheaper at my way.
Okay. When you were little, your dad used to get his suits back from the cleaners, just give you the bags to play with? Or? Jesus, it's getting cold in here all of a sudden, isn't it? Like the wind's picking up. Should probably apologize. I wore my tight pants. Looks like I'm smuggling grapes. I've lost the eye contact here in the front. How many guys here remember buying their first jockstrap when they were in high school? I didn't. Do you remember then? In 7th grade or so? 4th grade. 4th grade? You didn't have anything to put in it, did you? It's kind of like having a marble sack with no marbles. I didn't know they came in small, medium, and large. You know, so the salesman says, "What size do you need?" I says, "It's about like this." Or training bras were another thing. What did it train them to do? Thought it had wheels on the front of it in case they fell down or something. Spring. Now, I was talking about living in a weird neighborhood. How many people know somebody that wears those really thick glasses? You all know what I'm talking about. The Coke bottle glasses makes their eyes look huge, like they're always scared. Little advice about these people. If you're ever talking to them and you're outside, never let them stand with the sun to their back. Somebody just got goosed. So I was talking to a friend of mine. He had those glasses on. He set my dog on fire. Stand there with a leash and a pile of ashes. Are you getting any of these, Mark? Just checking. Next week I'll be appearing at Taco John's. Be autographing burritos for everyone. How many people eat there ever? They're willing to admit to it. Ooh, right in the front. When was the last time you ate there? Tuesday. Oh, now they're heckling each other. This is a surly crowd when they start heckling the hecklers. There's going to be gunplay, I know it. I used to be a bouncer in a bar. This will never get on TV, but how many people do I intimidate? A lot of women saying, I could kick the shit out of him. That was my big problem. Nobody was ever afraid of me. People come up and give me crap. My voice would quiver. All right, fucker. So that's the grapes. What are you looking down there for anyway now? Shame on you. You sure you don't want to take me to the Virgin Islands? Get me in one of his 5 vans here, and what are you drinking there? Looks like succulent wine. I don't think you can say succulent on TV. I'm not sure.
I like motherfucker.
A little louder. I don't think Saturday Night Live heard you over there. Or Saturday Night. This guy's crazy. What's your name?
Sneed.
Sneed. Okay. Sam Sneed or?
Sneed Hearn.
Sneed Hearn. Oh.
He knows me.
Now he does. Well, pretty soon we're going to have a group going to the Virgin Islands with you.
Maybe IPBN too.
At what point did I lose total control here? None of us are going to be on TV here. Those have me playing the chairs here tomorrow. I grew up in Austin, Minnesota. Anybody heard of Austin?
Yeah.
It's kind of in the news now. That's where they build Spam. No, I can't explain it to you. It'd make you sick. But spam's kind of an interesting word. They had to combine two words. It actually means spoiled ham. I was down there visiting a fat uncle. Does anybody have a fat relative could get a zip code someday or become a state? This is true. I'll give you an idea how fat he was. One time I was walking down the street with him. Somebody said they liked his bell bottoms. He was wearing shorts. One time he told me he got out of the shower and his legs weren't even wet. We had a Little League baseball team. We were sponsored by Hormel. Even our uniforms looked like Spam cans. They were blue and yellow, and the numbers on the back were actually made out of Spam. Sometimes he'd be running the bases, he'd be attacked by a dog. So the umpire would have to call timeout until the dog died. I like the hats, though. They were kind of unique. They had the little key lock. You could just peel them right back. Get a little sun on your head. The pants were vacuum packed. I like those. Sometimes I get ornery. I'd sit on the bench, unzip my fly, and blow the pitcher off the mound. Been dating an older woman here lately. Anybody else dating somebody that's older than they are? Yeah. He looks a lot older. He looks like he's about ready to die. Got all those stickers on him. Where was the last place you traveled to? Craftsman. I see. Okay, you went to Sears. Holy cow. But I've been dating an older woman. A little bit concerned about her. Last night she fell down, broke a hip. So she'll probably be dead in a couple of weeks now. She's like a lot of women, though. When it's warmer weather, she rolls her nylons down because it's cooler. Unfortunately, she wears pantyhose and rolls those down. Looks kind of nasty. Her cat gets stuck in there and then shoots out like a slingshot. Been having Vietnam flashbacks lately. Every time somebody mentions Canada. It's one of those you have to kind of think of. Tomorrow you go, damn, that was kind of funny. But you know, you kind of have to wonder about that first guy that discovered he could drink milk from a cow. I mean, what in the heck was going through that man's mind? He's probably sitting there with a couple of people, and this large animal walks by that none of them have ever seen before. This guy's got the nerve to say, why don't we drink whatever's in that? I can think of a lot of animals I'm glad didn't walk by. Or Michael Jackson. Seems like the older he gets, the higher his voice gets. So I figure by the time he's 40, only dogs are going to be able to hear him. It's going to happen. Someday you're going to be listening to your radio, it'll go blank, your dog will start breakdancing. How many people here went to school at all? Two of you? Remember how you could tell if you were really funny in school? You'd go over to that one kid with a bad cold, tell him a joke, and if the bubble appeared? No, I can't stay up here for the rest of the night. We've got other good people here. How much time do I have left? Do I have a few more minutes? 4. Okay. This is a golf course now, or what? I was about ready to duck. I am kind of excited, though. I went out and bought a pet peeve. I have things that bother me. Like I talked about blind dates. I hate blind dates. Usually they say he's a fox or she's a fox. Then you meet him, it's a raccoon at best. Or if they have red hair and a long nose, you're out with a fox. Another thing I hate, we've all seen this. You ever seen somebody blow their nose in public? You can deal with that, right? But don't you hate the people that have to look at it? Like they're trying to find 5 presidents' faces? What are they checking for? Brains or what? Holy cow, I think I blew my entire mind. Their commercials are another dumb thing. Like they had a commercial for women here not too long ago for underwear that breathe. How many women actually need underwear that breathe? How many men really would like to go out with a woman that has underwear that breathe? Be kind of fun, take her to a movie, all I hear is... The hell's that? That was my underwear they were breathing. Come in a little square box with air holes punched in the top so they don't die. If they sold them men, I'd probably buy a pair and they'd wheeze or something. You know? Just send them to Arizona for the winter. Well, between living bras and breathing underwear, there's a lot of action going on under there. That's why a lot of women turn you down at the end of the night. No, I'm exhausted. I'm sorry. Another the dumbest name for a product is who had the audacity to name mustard Grey Poupon. First time somebody asked me, you want some Grey Poupon? I go, on what? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure my doctor put me on a no-poop diet. If you had poop light, I could have that, but... Or toilet paper. How many people here buy toilet paper just to squeeze? How many people here buy toilet paper? Okay. If you think about it, though, toilet paper is the one product that you never go to a store and just buy all by itself. Always make sure you buy bread or peanut butter or something. Because you can't walk up the check line with just 4 rolls. There could be 50 people waiting to get checked out. They take one look at you and go, get him up here, he's got a major problem. If you have Pepto-Bismol and toilet paper, they'll let you go out free. I usually have the checkout boy pull your car around so you can get right in. You guys have been a dynamite crowd. Thanks a lot.
Deodorant? Why'd these people take off here? I don't know. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is in fact break time. There's a couple things I want to remind you of before however you go. Number one, I'm not going to be able to mention this again. Please remember to tip your waitresses tonight. That's kind of an important thing at the end of the show, yeah. If you have any suggestions on how they can make the service any better, just write those suggestions down on a $5, $10, or $20 bill. Leave it there on the table. They'll get to those suggestions later, and that's kind of an important thing. Another thing, on the second half here, we got a couple comics that are going to really be pressed for time on what's happening. And so we want to have you, want to remind you to keep your comments kind of to yourself unless they issue that or want that from you. So kind of a little reminder so these guys don't go over their time limits and things like that. That's kind of an important thing. So we've been having some fun. Gary's great at that, but when I come back up here, you say something in my show, I'm going to whap you. Well, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. The break, we're going to take about 10 minutes. Be back.